welcome to Ask Mom's podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ask Mom's podcast. As we always remind everyone, we are not professionals, but we can certainly share our experience and remind you that you're awesome. If you feel you need professional support, however, please don't think twice and reach out to a qualified medical expert. We talk all things motherhood, the good, the tough, and everything in between. And today we're talking about something that's everywhere, a little scary and everywhere. Artificial intelligence, AI.
Right? It's like 1 minute you're asking Alexa for a banana bread recipe, and the next she's suggesting your next vacation and reminding you to pick up the kids and book your dentist appointment. And
So today we have a guest, Izzy.
Unlike everybody else who's flipping out about AI and they're very worried about AI, I'm one of the few that think it's a marvelous thing, that great things are coming. It is a little scary, so I prepared a thing today for you guys called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly of Artificial Intelligence. Because there are goods, bads, and not so bads.
about everything, right?
About everything. There was a great article that was out on a magazine called The Conversation by Cameron Shackle. Was the author, and he wrote about how this is just history repeating itself again. And so everybody gets all worried and they're thinking, oh my goodness, think of all the jobs that are going to be lost. There will be no executive assistants anymore. Oh, what do we need doctors for if AI will tell us what to do? Why do we need psychologists? We'll just talk to AI and AI will tell me what my problems are and ask me the right questions. And that's not 100% accurate, because there are a lot of things that, especially now or for the next 10, 20 years or more, they're going to take a little bit of time to come to fruition and come close to what a human can do. But one of the things that in this article that I was referencing, they talk about this is the exact same thing that happened in the 1920s when electricity came. A majority of people didn't have electricity. There was lanterns and kerosene and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, electricity was coming. And they were going to put electricity in everything. But oh my gosh, we can't have it. It's impossible because this magical thing that travels on wires, we're all going to lose our jobs because of it. Because what's going to happen when instead of having a conveyor that brings the car down the thing that's run on electricity, instead of having that, they used to have 4 or 5 men who would prop the vehicle on top of something that had wheels, and they'd push it around. Well, if you have a conveyor belt, you don't need those men to push them around.
Or what about the sale of kerosene?
What about the sale of kerosene? What about making kerosene lanterns?
Right.
What about transporting kerosene from place to place to place? What about the storage facilities? And we're just talking about kerosene, but there are so many other things that electricity changed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if you ever watched an old movie from the 50s, and they talk about the secretarial pool.
Yes.
Yes.
And you wonder, well, what the heck was a secretarial pool? It was like 50 people who, before photocopiers existed, they would hand 1 copy and it would become 2 copies. Now 2 people would make 4 copies. By the end of it, when you needed 200 copies, there were 50 people typing it out 2 or 4 times or whatever.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you had all the copies that you needed.
And then there was the invention that I actually worked with.
There you
Believe it
go.
or not, was a Gestetner.
Oh, the Gestetners. The quality wasn't so amazing, but you could do that, right? And they used them extensively in schools and everything.
So this is just kind of the same thing as the Industrial Revolution, right? And the cotton ginny. And then everybody was panicking that, that's it.
We're all going to do it.
Yeah.
When the car came out, what are we going to do with all the stables?
Right.
What are we going to do with all those horseshoes
Right.
we've got?
Yes.
I mean, I'm making a joke about it.
But it's true.
We pivot. As humans, we improve and we move in another direction that needs improvement.
Exactly.
And I think this is just one of them.
So how do we make people feel comfortable? What do you think opportunities are going to happen so people will feel, hey, I'll still be able to work and there's still going to be a chance for me to thrive?
So I think that the whole thing's communication, right? It's all about communicating what can and can't be done. The reason why I brought up that earlier article was because they talk about how the advent of electricity also was one of the things that brought about the Great Depression. Because what started to happen, and this is going to sound very familiar about what's happening right now, they started to put electricity in everything, right? So everybody said, you know what we should do? We should invest in electricity. Anything to do with electricity, we should invest in it because there's a big boom. So they started putting all their money into it. And there were, in the day, hundreds of millions of dollars all going into anybody who said they're going to do something with electricity. As you can imagine, a lot of those companies failed, didn't do a darn thing. So what happened? All those people lost their money.
True.
Right?
Yes.
Right now, doesn't that sound very familiar? Everybody's putting billions and billions and billions into AI. Oh my goodness. If you say you're going to create something with AI, there's some investor somewhere who wants to give you $1 billion. Do you think all of those are going to survive? No. So what's going to happen to that investment money?
You're going to
So it
lose
sounds familiar, doesn't
Yeah.
it? So when you couple that there's going to be a bunch of people that are going to be displaced and won't have their jobs because of AI,
Yeah.
and you're going to have a whole bunch of people on the other end of the spectrum who are investing in AI, but they're going to lose all their money because not all those companies are going to succeed. Sound familiar? 1920s?
Yes.
Okay, so let's pull it back then. And for people listening that are not familiar with AI at all, can you just kind of give us a quick snapshot of what that is?
So AI is the ability, it comes in many forms. So right now it's large language models. You ask AI a question and AI guesses, I think that she's asking me this. And because it has a whole bunch of examples of what you asked, it answers appropriately. And it does it very quickly. So the difference between a search engine and AI is if you were on your regular Google search and you said, how do I take a stain off of red pants? It'll take out keywords, stain, red pants, and try to guess what you're searching for. But when you go to something like Gemini, which is Google's AI, you'll say, how do I get a stain out of red pants? It thinks of it a little more. Well, wait a sec. She's talking about a stain, so I've got to find how do I get it out? Okay, so it keeps narrowing it down. It thinks of the question a little better, and then it actually answers how you do it. Then it says, I got that answer from all of these different locations.
Right. So it summarizes all the different responses out there
information.
and brings you the best ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'll give you an example here. There's one of them that I use, and it's called AI Studio. And AI Studio is made by Google. I'll let you listen to it, and I'll put it right near the mic. Let's think of a question. What is something that you'd like to know about?
Are there a breed of cats that have short legs?
So tell me more about the Munchkin cat.
Munchkin cats are known for their short legs, which are the result of a natural mutation. Despite their size, they're usually active and playful. They also tend to have a sweet and friendly personality. Is there anything else you'd like to know?
In that case, you can do all this sort of stuff. They have a commercial about Gemini where it's kind of funny. It's where a gentleman's putting together a basketball hoop for his child, and they're asking. You can actually ask AI. You can turn on the camera and show what you're doing, and it'll say, "Get that piece and put it together with this piece, and do this and do that," and it'll help you with it. And then because it says, "Let's go back to step 2," and in the commercial, the guy says, "We're only on step 2," and it's kind of funny. But if you go on to YouTube, you can find people who are planting potatoes.
Yeah.
And they actually they let the camera show the soil, and it'll say, you really need to enrich that soil. These are the potatoes you should be using. Only put them in 6 inches deep. It does all this stuff, and it thinks about not only exactly what you said, but all the other referential information that you might need, so it becomes more helpful that way.
Wow. Okay, so what do you think about it in school? The kids are using it to do their homework, to write their reports, to do everything, right? And the teachers are embracing this as well.
So that's where the communication comes in. If someone, and like anything else, if someone says, write me a paper about this, they're not learning anything.
Yeah, true.
But if you say, assist me with this, assist me with that. The way we ask the question and how we're going to talk about something.
Yes.
So there's going to have to be some reform on how we educate our kids.
Right.
Because part of education is also,
Moving forward.
in the day, we just used to memorize everything. Some of that is absolutely needed.
Sure.
Right? We also have to teach kids how to learn, how to find out what the answer is. And this is just yet another tool to assist them.
Like the
Now,
calculator
like
when
the
it came
calculator
out,
when it
right?
came out,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So instead of just saying, "Oh, we can't do that," let's find out how we can ask them to use the tools to still get to the same place.
Ah, okay, I see where you're going.
Yeah.
So
Very good.
I think it's really important that people think about balance. Kim had a good point that she wrote down here, talking about kids using AI in art,
Yes.
right? So they're amazed, they can doodle and they can turn their doodle into a character and all the different things they can do. But when do you kind of, draw that back and say, they'll ask questions, why should I draw?
Like
right?
AI can copy beauty, but only you in your heart can create the beauty.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
It's your idea.
And that's
Right.
why I keep saying
Yes.
it's the good, the bad, and the ugly. So
Right.
let's think of it this way. What's the good using that example? The good is that someone can use AI to make an output that is way better than they have ever been able to. They can
Yeah.
take the stick image and animate it and do all this sort of
Yeah.
stuff. Also, it's the great equalizer. If someone has the ability on a computer to do this and do that, and all that, because they're rich, because they can afford a really good computer, whatever,
Yeah.
well, the person who
Yeah.
not can't. And this is the great equalizer. Now, someone, even in their library, if they have access to a patron computer like you're in the library, what can they do? They can now create it. So that's the good. Where the bad comes in is there are a lot of artists out there who painstakingly learned how to draw, how to make all this beautiful art themselves. And there are people, and I don't mean to say it in this way, that don't have that artistic talent, and they're able to get ahead of them and sell their work because they're using AI,
Right.
and the person who's classically trained may or may not be able to.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the bad.
Yes.
So there is good, there is bad, and the
Yes.
ugly of it is it's unfair sometimes.
Right.
I think
Going
we're
with
going to
that.
evolve to something.
Yes, I
Like,
agree.
We may turn around and say, what's the thing that's valuable?
Yeah.
Well, the thing that's valuable now is I can tell that someone created that.
Yes.
It's got a certain texture. I saw them make it.
Right.
And that will become the valuable
Right.
thing, where the one that you can just ask AI to make it, maybe that's
Yes.
less valuable.
Yeah.
But no matter what, we're advancing. We're getting
Yes.
better.
And we're
it's
enjoying
improving,
them.
And we're enjoying it.
And what about authors, right? Somebody who's writing a book from scratch, using their pen and
Yes.
paper, versus AI, you plug in what you'd like it to write about,
Yeah.
and then bam, you've got a book.
So to do the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Right.
The good is
Yes.
there are some people that they want to express themselves, they can't,
Yes.
and AI will help them write the book.
Exactly.
The bad is the people who will say, I want to write a book in the style of James Patterson, in the this, in the that, and they add all of these things, and it copies these other artists to create something that's going to make them money. Well, isn't that really cheating those
Isn't that
other
infringement,
people?
though? Like, aren't there laws
Well,
that protect?
I kind of,
you kind of want
I-
to know that before you
While
start
I play the
selling.
guitar, because I slick my hair back in a way, I kind of look like Prince. It's a morals thing. So that's the ugly part. There might be some people that are going to take advantage of this great technology to do something that they're not truly skilled in. So you can use it for good, but you
Right.
can use it for bad. It all depends on
Yes.
us.
Now, haven't you heard songs over the years, right, where you think, oh, whoever wrote this, it's a great song, but that they were instilled with a love of this type of guitar
Absolutely.
from this, it has a little bit of the
were
Rolling Stones
inspired,
in there,
yeah.
right? So you can hear all different artists in their song, but it doesn't make their song bad. It just makes their song awesome.
Exactly.
So the slightly less fun part is privacy.
Yes.
So I'm amazed how many toys and apps now that have AI built in, and we often click I agree when there's all 4 pages of terms and conditions.
Yes.
So what do you think about that? Is there any?
So we're having a huge problem right now with privacy because people find these tools and they say, I know what I'm going to do. I've got whatever, 50 or 60 spreadsheets. And instead of analyzing them, and they've got lots of personal data and lots of people's personal information, but I want to do a trend analysis, or I want to find out, what direction is something traveling in. If they get a little bit lazy, they grab all of their data, they input it as a source for AI, and they say, give me my trend analysis, tell me what direction I should go in. And you're dropping all of this personal information, which in some cases is against the law. You drop it into some AI agent, and it does what you've asked it to do. But now you've put that data out, who knows where?
Right.
So that's very, very bad. And that's, again, where I say where the communication has to come in.
Yeah.
People have to learn how to use it within a certain fence,
Yes, yes.
Let's put up the fences and say, this is how we're going to use it and really control it to make sure that we're using it properly without infringing on people's personal information. Because it could get really bad.
So is there a source you could go to find out the do's and don'ts of using AI?
Oh, goodness,
know
yes. You can even ask AI that question.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
Right? So there are a lot of things, MFIPA, HIPAA, with medical information, personal information, that sort of idea. Those are kind of obvious, but there are a bunch of other things where people will copy another artist using AI. So it'll say, give me a song that sounds exactly like Drake.
Yeah.
And then the voice sounds exactly the same. Well, you can't really do that.
No.
So maybe a good practice is before you use AI, you might want to ask AI what the limitations are. Not limitations, but guidelines are.
Yeah,
Right.
and it all depends on what you
Copyright,
ask
things
it.
like that.
Copyright Act.
Yes,
Yeah.
you could say, help me create this
Yeah.
as in a way that will not infringe on copyright rules,
Yeah.
taking this into consideration, taking
Yes.
that into, give it the framework, and then you'll be fine. But
follow
we have
these
to teach
rules.
people how to do that.
Right. And it's a good reminder as a parent to teach our kids that not everything online is private, right?
Or accurate.
Yes.
Or accurate, yes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be scary, just a family rule, something like, hey, don't share personal stuff with a bot. Just like we used to say, don't talk to strangers, now it's don't overshare with the algorithm.
I couldn't have said it
Nice.
better.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Good job. So anyway, at the end of the day, all this technology is great, right? But nothing replaces a real conversation.
True.
So kids still need their hugs and laughter and real life problem solving and the chance to be creative out of their own minds.
Yes.
So please, I'll go back to that balance statement, right? We have to grow because technology is growing.
That's true.
And as you were going through your example, I actually was getting excited because I could see how it could apply to me. I actually used AI to write a letter to compliment somebody, but I didn't really know quite how to word it, and it helped me.
Yeah.
So it would start off, and then it would ask questions. Can you tell me more about this person? And I did, and they revised it. Now, should I make it more personal or should I make it more professional? It was amazing. And I sent the letter and they loved it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's really useful,
And we all,
but it's
and
a
we
little
have-
scary.
And we have to remind our friends who are really worried about whether their kids are going to have jobs in the future and all of that sort of thing. Nothing replaces a person.
No.
At least not for a very long time. Nothing replaces a person. I have friends who their kids are going to be doctors, and they're like, well, there won't need to be a family doctor anymore because AI will tell you what's wrong. No, it won't.
No, it won't.
AI doesn't read body language. AI, I mean, until we get to a point where some bot is looking at your body temperature, monitoring your heart
Yeah.
rate while you're having
Yeah.
the conversation, and doing your blood test all at the same time,
Right.
which we're nowhere near there.
No. That's
A
Star
doctor's
Trek.
still very, very important.
Yeah.
And how many times have people, we used to make the joke, we used to call it Dr. Google. People will look something up and they say, I think I've got this. And the doctor will say, yeah, was that Dr. Google? No. Let's do a blood
Maybe.
test first.
Yes.
There's a possibility
Yes,
you're right.
right.
But,
Well,
but
don't forget, it could be 5 things.
it could be 5
So
things.
you need to go and,
You could have
find
looked
out what
up
it
or
actually
asked the wrong thing.
Yes.
It only gives you, and then there's
yeah.
hallucinations. It's been proven that AI wants to give you something. It always wants to give you
No
something.
way.
So there are times when you say, hey, I need this and I need that and this has got to be like this. And it gives you an answer. And then you go to take a look at it. I'm not going to use any examples other than a lawyer who was representing the present president of the United States. He wrote a deposition for court. And it quoted all this law and everything. And then when he went to court, they said, we don't know any of these. Where did these come
No
from?
way.
Well, he thought he was using a search engine. He was using AI. It gave him all of these depositions, and they didn't even exist. So they said, maybe you should, consider not being a lawyer anymore. Whatever.
So what's an AI's favorite snack?
An AI's favorite snack.
Microchips.
Oh.
Ba-dum-bum.
So we know AI can give us answers, right? But it can't give us wisdom.
Is that an AI dad joke?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
No, it cannot give us
No.
wisdom. I'm sorry.
It cannot. So that's where parents come in. So whether you love it, fear it, or still think AI stands for another issue, it's definitely here to stay. It ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
So the good news is we don't need to fear AI. Just understand it, respect it, use it wisely, be aware, and keep talking to our kids about it. Technology changes fast, but good parenting never goes out of style. Curiosity, kindness, and humor. That's where it's at.
Exactly.
Any
So-
final wisdom, Izzy?
I just absolutely agree with everything that you've said. AI is a great tool, like a hammer, but AI's wisdom will never replace a parent's wisdom.
That's right.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So whether you're using AI to plan dinner, help with homework, or just get through your day, remember you're still the real intelligent in the house. Mom intelligent beats artificial intelligence every time.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Izzy.
My pleasure.
Again, thank you for being with us. Anyway, so please connect with us at askmomstoday@gmail.com. You can find us on YouTube, but also on Hunters Bay Radio, 88.7 on the dial.
Or www.muskokaradio.com.
Right. Send us your comments, please. And also, if you have any episodes that you'd like us to, any content you want us to cover.
Mm-hmm.
As always, we hope we've helped you feel empowered, heard, and supported. And please remember, moms, dads, and kids, we know you do your best, and you're not alone. So until next time, please take care of yourself and others when you can. You've got this.